No audio. Thank you. Not paying attention here. All right. Welcome to the pre-party. And we need to party tonight. All right. So there, I spell my name right. I'm going to get got some feedback coming over here. There we go. Got that one turned off. Had the other one over there. Hey, Glenn, how's it going? All right, so the sound's coming through now, right? All righty, so here, centered here. All right, so I set this up several hours ago, and I forgot to hit the enter so notifications would go out earlier, and they didn't go out until I started it up. And so we got Caitlin in here, we got David Lynn, we got the Marshmallow Man, and we got Glenn and Grammy Karen. Okay, yeah, so we're basically gonna get a little pre-party going on because tonight Carol wasn't feeling up to doing her Fishes and Loaves Live's FRI thing tonight. So Courtney's running it tonight, and it starts at 11:30 Eastern, so in an hour and a half. And so since things are winding down for the summer, I'm jumping back into my my time slot here. Just going to start off a couple things going on here to get it going here. Right now, froze with the weather. It's it was pouring yesterday, and it was sprinkled a little bit today, and so there's not much I can do out there outside. So I did a bunch of stuff inside and everything else. So now, hey, I got free time in the evening. I'm now out there working in the garden because the sun's going down earlier. In fact, it's dark, almost dark out there now. So yeah, this is sort of a pep rally. Okay, piece of business news here. Just remembered. Alicia's channel, I'm going to throw her up there. Alicia's channel went today, and she had to start a new one. So if you were subscribed to Alicia before, please go over and subscribe to her. Kaylin has a wrench. So Kaylin, can you click on her name there in the side check, go to channel, grab her link, and grab her link for her channel and throw it in there. And so, yeah. Anyways, yeah, her channel went poof, poof. And so, yeah, she's trying to get it back. But in the meantime, she has this one. It may be totally gone. YouTube may or may not hang on to things for 30 days in case someone changes their mind and tries to recover it. I guess, well, she can explain it if she wants to explain what happened today, or, what a possibility of what happened today. Anyways, yeah, so Homestead Aquarius is in the house now. So, all right, so and Janet's in the house. Hey, Janet, how's it going? So, and actually that's something I could have done today because this is on Camp Patton Family Compound, but I haven't had a chance to update my list, my little video that does all the channel members. As you can see, Janet is green there. Kaylin's blue orange, but she has the little logo up next to her name as well. She picked up one courtesy of a membership courtesy of Joe Garden State Gardener. Hey, Granny Goose, how's it going? And so, yeah. So those that just came in, guess what it is? We need to party. I'm sorry, I just, for years, Sinbad doing that, we need to party. It's always been in my mind for stuff like that. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, Q went through the same thing. She had to make a complaint in the channel. So if you were subscribed over to Alicia, go hit her up on her new channel here. And there it is. Kaylin Strain put it in. There's the link to Alicia's new channel. Thank you, Kaylin, very much. Yeah, so Courtney's going to be running the FRI tonight for Carol because Carol's getting is really under a lot of load and stress right now. So, but hopefully some things did work out today, and they got the I want to call it hospice worker or the assistance worker to help with her mom. So hopefully that worked out. And drop that down so I get that out of my way there, and boom. So let me go ahead and get that in here for those that want to come in here. Yeah, I am ready tonight. At the first sign of a troll, I got it set up, so I just go over to the other computer, I go click, and it has that 5-minute delay, and you have to be a subscriber to comment. So Alicia, we are a community here. We stand by each other. All righty. So folks, it's Friday, TGIF. What do you what are you thankful for or happy about today? I'm happy froze because of sort of a schedule, because of a scheduling change. All right. The what scheduling change was, my daughter, how many years ago was this? At least 8 years ago, 9 years ago. Wow, time flies. Whew. She was at the university on the fencing team. And I'm not sure if she was captain at the time, but she was out there practicing. She was doing some lunges and stuff, and she did a lunge, and her foot wasn't exactly straight. It's a little bit off, so her knee rolled a little bit, and they thought she just dislocated her knee, but what she did was she tore a tendon in her knee. And of course, they took her to the hospital and stuff, everything. And all they did at the hospital there was X-ray. Well, an X-ray doesn't show anything for soft tissue damage. They should have done an MRI. Well, she finally was with another doctor, and he, this last time it went out pretty bad this last time. And she was explaining to what happened. He goes, and he just rolled his eyes, scheduled her for an MRI, saw in the MRI that, oh yeah, there's soft tissue damage. We need to see better on it. Scheduled for a CAT scan so they can slice and dice. And if you don't know how a CAT scan works, basically it has a thing that goes around and x-rays it from 360 degrees on a very, very thin line. And it goes to dunk, 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 dunk. And it makes sounds like that when you hear it going, as it goes across, and it sliced, did a slice of the area. And so the doctor was able to look not just at it from the side and stuff, but from the end on the images. And so the surgeon determined it not going to require the super nasty one that he mentioned was a possibility. But it was supposed to be like they were talking like, okay, once he decides it's going to be surgery, it's going to be scheduled 8 weeks out. Well, they wound up being scheduled for the 27th of this month. And my wife was planning on showing up on the 16th or so of October and being here for 6 weeks or whatever. Okay, Lewis is trying to come in. I don't see a picture. It's not connecting right. And so, there he is. He's coming in. And so what happened was,
hey, how's it going?
All right. So what happened was because of the rescheduling and because it was scheduled so early, my wife is going to be coming up here earlier. So next weekend, of course, unless she really pulls, and she may actually try coming up next Friday, either after work or just if they haven't gotten all the work she's supposed to do done. She's done. She's way ahead of schedule on her work as an accountant for the new year, and she's waiting for the property managers to get off their duff and get the budgets and stuff back to her so she can do the information to her so she can do stuff and everything. Anyways, it's a big rigmarole. Hey, Liberty Garden, how's it going? And so my wife's coming back early. So she's going to be here possibly next weekend. And how long depends on how long her boss lets her stay here. Hopefully I'm hoping that her boss says take a month. Stay with her daughter and stuff, work on the budgets and stuff, and you work whenever you can do, and that her boss will get on the property managers to get the information to her so she can do it, because she sent everything out to the property managers 4 weeks ago saying, all right, here's the preliminary stuff, fill in the proper numbers and get it back to me so I can actually do the budget right. And hey, Brenda, how's it going? We got Duncan 1900 Homestead here. And did I miss anybody else? Glenn, Kayla, everyone's talking. Okay, so that's what I'm happy for today. Happy for this week is that's going on. The concrete on Monday. It's supposed to be sunny, and it's supposed to be sunny Sunday, so it'll dry out some because it's supposed to rain tonight and tomorrow. It's supposed to be sunny on Sunday at 7. On Monday, with a high of 75. So the concrete should be able to go right on in and get it done quickly. And once that concrete is in, I'm going to probably be scheduling for on Thursday, possibly, delivery of firewood. Because by then, that'll give how many days? So it'll give it all day Tuesday and Wednesday for the concrete to set up, and they're using what's called a 6-sack mix, which is a hard setting up concrete mix. Usually, like for most driveways, sidewalks, and stuff, they use a 5-sack mix. And house foundations. Sometimes they'll use a 6 on a house foundation, but generally they try to go like 5.5. But he's the last one did 6-sack, and this next one's going to be 6-sack. So, and what that means is that 6 sacks of pure Portland cement mixed into a yard of concrete. So that's what that works out. Yeah. Hang on a second. I'm going to answer Kaylin's question. Sort of. If she's here, though, she has several grandsons that want to come over and bug her. Yeah, you're going to say, Lewis?
Yeah, I don't know. I was in your live stream when they were pouring the concrete that day. Maybe there's a way for you to hook something up, get like some tubes that can handle water to melt the ice in that section of the driveway.
Don't need it.
No.
I got a snow blower. I can go out there, and once the snow is off of it, unless it's snowing unless it's snowing again, any ice on there melts within a couple hours. Or correct. Okay, well, if it's below freezing, it'll still evaporate. Like ice evaporates in your freezer, it'll evaporate. But see, I'll hit it straight. There'll be nothing stepping on it when I do it.
Yeah, well, I was thinking, that water catchment system you use, that 2-wheel dolly or that dolly thing to move it. So that would be for like your drinking water, right? I was thinking to have it set up for when you like a rain catchment system to go in there and like a filtration system and a way to heat it up, like in a wood stove, to kill off the bacteria, right?
Well, we thought
just
about
an idea and running through.
Yeah, we thought about doing that on the area next to the house where people be walking from the street and stuff. But the expense of doing that on top of the concrete and stuff was prohibitive.
Okay.
Yeah.
But an idea running through your driveway. I don't know what the weather's like up there, but we up here in Canada, we do get some nice ice storm, right? And you could be walking on like 3 inches of ice. So for that purpose only. Here.
Yeah, we won't get that here because if I move the snow immediately in the morning, like if I wake up in the morning, I go out there. I got the shovel in the laundry room there. I just shovel my way to the shop, and then I get the snow blower out and I just clean the back patio off. I clean the driveway off, and there's nobody stepping on the snow, and it'll pick it all up and blow it away, get it totally off.
Yeah.
And so I'm not getting ice buildup.
And that's the nice thing about your driveway. That's nice, brand new, right? I still love being in the country, right?
Yeah.
The only and then harassed from BC is the roads, right? Most of us got gravel driveways, so yeah, it's nice to have that little bit of snow and ice build up because the first couple of weeks you're throwing stones.
Yeah. So I mean, that was the whole purpose of getting the concrete in, is so I can clean it off, because even with when I had the gravel driveway in there, I couldn't use a snow blower on it. I had to use a tractor to drag snow off of it. But I didn't have the ice buildup slippage problem. What I had was, because where we are in Idaho, we're on top of a basalt field or a basalt field. There's geothermal activity down below. And so the ground is warm and stuff. And so the driveway stuff would melt and turn into mud. That was so I had more of a mud problem than a ice problem. The only place I had an ice problem was on the back patio, where because the old patio, when the guy put the patio in, that was the original patio in, he didn't compact the dirt below it. And so the dirt went out, and then the dirt sloped down immediately down to the lawn. Well, where it sloped here, because it wasn't compacted after the concrete was poured, and as weather and stuff, it began to tip. And as it tipped, it cracked in the middle, and the outer 6 feet or so cracked and broke. Well, and it was lean. Well, when you got a jagged edge there now, you can't really you try to shovel on that, you hit part of that, and you about break your arm trying to shovel it, and you can't get it scraped clean, and there you get buildup because of those snow on the roof would melt and run off the back side of the house and hit that patio and refreeze. That's where I had an ice problem. But on Thursday or Friday next week, I'm getting gutters put on the house and on the shop, and they have heating elements in the gutters, so anything that comes off goes and gone away, and so I'm not going to have all that water coming off and refreezing on it. Q, you're right. They're good and not good. The not good part here is the basalt is very alkali, and so the soil around here is about like a 9 to 12 out of 14. So it's very alkali here. I can go out and pour some vinegar on the ground, and it foams up like I'm pouring it into baking soda. And so
like baking soda vinegar together.
Yeah. And so and people are constantly adding wood chips to the soil, because wood chips will, as they break down, make it more, add a little acidity to it. And if they can get pine chips, it's even better. But the problem is it's always leaching the stuff back up again. So they can get their soil down to a 6.5 to 7. And in like 3 years, it's back up to an 8. Alicia says, down to 40s, 50s, and I have to have tomatoes in zippered greenhouse. Do you need to bring them inside? Question really. I'm not sure. 40s at night will cause tomatoes to stop producing. But bring them inside.
Celsius?
That's Fahrenheit. So
yeah, what was that in Celsius?
It's above 0. 32 degrees Fahrenheit is freezing. So
yeah, I still got about a month to go. Start getting close to 0 because we're like
Alicia,
6 Celsius, 7 Celsius, something low.
Yeah, if you see anything early in the morning, when it's supposed to be 45, they're small romas. Okay, as soon as it hits 45, I would bring them in. The first 45 degree temperature you get, bring them in. At the latest, if you want to bring them in now, down to the 50s, bring them in, and then prune them. If you saw my last video there, where I really pruned up my Roma, and all of a sudden, it's just kicking out. I thought it was dying, and it kicked up a lot. Oh, she's up in Nova Scotia, so I would go ahead and bring it in and prune any of the leaves that are wilting and brown. Prune them off. It's like the garden scissors, and just cut it all off, and that way it's not trying to revive the wilted, dying leaves. It just boom and comes back. I mean, that's what surprised me. I mean, I counted this morning, and I stopped counting at 40 blossoms on my Roma tomato as I'm going around and hand pollinating it. When I got to 40, I stopped counting. But I just kept on going. Okay, if these all take, I'm going to be loaded with tomatoes for 2 little boys.
Buddy, you should see the pound. I don't know how many. I'm guessing like 70 pounds worth of tomatoes.
Yeah.
This year.
Okay.
Let those things grow, back, and they're going still.
Yeah. Anonymous, if you're talking about the next concrete pour, that'll be Monday morning at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock my time in the mountains there. Tennessee Bushcrafter, hey, how's it going? And so let me go ahead and drop this in there again. So that's this year I've been under a lot of stress trying to get things done after learning last year's winter thing, and then there is a there is a Portland cement shortage in the United States because the Land of the Red Dragon bought most of it in the spring, and had contracts, and they're paying higher prices for it. So the Portland cement manufacturers are selling it off, and the Portland cement is what you need to make concrete. And so the big guys around here, fortunately the contractor I got is a fairly big guy, and he's able to get his allotments in. Like the first guy got a thing for, they shoved them off. They cut his amount of concrete he could get way back, and he had me scheduled, and then he postponed the first one 6 weeks, and the second one he postponed it 9 weeks, and it's like, so they got a lot done. Yeah, more than 98% of Americans. Well, I would say more than 99% of non-gardeners, homesteaders and preppers. If they're not a homesteader gardener, you know, that more than the 90% of those other people that aren't getting themselves ready. Last night, this is going to be interesting tonight. When we get over on, and Courtney's running the FRI tonight, I'm going to be opening up the window here, listening for the bobcat / mountain lion that was in town last night. It got 3 of my daughter's rabbits. Last night when I was doing the Gray Man Peppering's Midnight Ride, I thought I heard some squalling, and I thought it was just some kids yelling and screaming out there at midnight. And it was the bobcat getting 3 of the rabbits. So tonight, my son-in-law is taking his compound bow and getting up in the upstairs so he can look down on it, and is opening the window so he can, you know, if he can. But I went out to I unpacked from my shop in my gun safe across the street my Mossberg 500 bullpup 12 gauge with the extended magazine on it, and loaded it. Nice. And I got it here loaded with the 3-inch magnums with triple-aught buck in it.
Nice.
So if I hear something later tonight, so if I hear something later tonight, it's around from 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock. I'm gonna be wandering out there, and I'm gonna text them, letting them know, hey, I'm outside here, and I'm gonna be going out there with my shotgun to see if I can see it. And he'll shoot at it from one side, and I'll broadside it with the triple-aught buck.
Yeah, farmers up in Canada, I'm sure no more people, like some people work for them, but they're godfathered into that stuff, like the coyotes and whatever else in our area. Uh-huh. They got that right. If it's in their crops or their livestock, boom, done. It could be deers even, right, or turkeys. You know, luck of the draw is a deer or a turkey, right? You know what I mean? But there's turkey vultures up here, coyotes, right? They'll you know, like turkeys, they'll go and get the corn, right? And boom, done. You know, like it's their livelihood up here, right?
Yeah.
Like even in the small area I live in, right? It's a small community of like 50 homes. There might be like 40 of us with guns, right? Yeah. If we see stuff, you know, boom, the community's like, I don't want to say it's tight, but tight enough that if I notice like something, or I know something's going on like that, you know, there's kids in this neighborhood, right?
Yeah. And that's the thing, you know, being Friday night, a lot of the teenagers are out later, you know, riding around on their bikes or whatever and doing stuff. And if because it's starting to get cooler, so that I think that's what's driving and the fact that we've had so much drought and stuff. That's what's driving that bobcat mountain lion into town. There's been earlier this year. There's been several other reported sightings, and they've been miraculously disappeared, and no one asked questions.
Yeah, not even just bobcats, coyotes, anything, right? That you know, drink of water.
We don't have very many coyotes around here. Coyotes are not around here much at all. But the Grand Tetons are only 30 miles away.
There's a coyote home maybe a couple 100 feet from my backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's farm territory, right? Where there's a meal, there's a meal, right? If there's a watering hole, they're sticking around. Guaranteed. At my last place, there was a coyote home, maybe 1,000 yards away, off to the left, my back of my house, and then across the street from me, maybe a kilometer in. But he had his fields where he had his sheep, right? but they were closed. The sheep were closed to me, and because I lived there for 5 years, I knew, right? You know what I mean? I could tell. I heard a coyote and a dog go at it, right? And the dog, you know what a coyote sounds like when you know.
Yeah, I find the coyotes,
sound, right? And
yeah.
And I called up the landlord and said, it's got to be between here, this part of your driveway by the road to this barn, right? And by the creek or something, right? And he went out there and checked it out. One of his dogs bit the bullet, right, from a coyote. You know? And I knew where it was, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want to go over there and do something. It was up to him, and he got the coyote. They're brave, right? Like any animal like that. I'm sure you can tell bobcats, right? Like, but they get braver when they got when they get the rabies, because they're out in daylight. They get bolder, they get braver. And coyotes, they're like maybe 67 pounds up here, and they'll make a certain loud noise. They'll run off. The moment they don't, they've got rabies, and that's when you really have to do something, right? It's nature, right?
Yeah, but around here, because there's so much farmland. I mean, it's just a lot of farmland out there where raising the alfalfa or potatoes or sugar beets. Hey, CB, how's it going? And so generally the only things we get coming in this far down into town here is either a mountain lion that's hungry, a bobcat, or a moose. And the deer. The deer come in to raid everybody's garden. And I think because the deer come in to raid everybody's garden, that's why the mountain lions and the bobcats are coming in trying to catch a deer. Yeah. Yeah. But, and the moose are just wandering around wherever the hell they feel like it.
Yeah. It's just nature, right? And if they're not doing it in your backyard, they're doing it somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
It is what it is, and because they're wild animals, they're unpredictable at times, right? So
right.
We get used to doing certain things, like like you said, the deer come down to the farms, though that brings in certain animals wherever. Like your place, like the lions and the bobcats, and that my place, the coyotes or the wolves or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Same difference. It's those animals get used to being around homes and this and that, and they get we got chickens here, in the area, and chicken farms, you guys, it's this or that or the other, and easier meal, easier takedown, right?
Yeah. Just thought something. In between, I'm going to cut this off in 25 minutes. That gives us a half an hour between then and when Courtney fires up Friday at 11:30 Eastern time. I got to remember to get with my daughter and son-in-law, make sure they got all the chicken. They got a couple Rhode Island Reds that like to fly out of the enclosure and wander around and stuff. Usually they fly back in, or they go over and wait by the gate to be let back in. They're going to make sure they let them in, because there were several out there that were out. And I heard their dog over there barking at them about 3 hours ago. So I'm not sure if they realized that the couple of chickens were out. So after this, this will be over at 11 o'clock Eastern time. Then Courtney is doing Friday tonight for Fishes and Loaves. So the link should be, those of you that have access to her moderators, they should be there, and it also should be in the it popped up when I just Googled YouTube, and hit the YouTube thing, and it showed up there. And Steph is in the house. Hey, Idaho Garden Girl. And so, yeah. Oh, thank you again for putting that in there. Yeah, Alicia lost her channel today. She thinks her little kid, when he was on her phone playing, deleted it, but she's trying to get it back. And so if you were subscribed to Alicia, here's her new channel. You can go subscribe to her new channel. So after 11:30 for Alicia, she's going to bed. All right, Alicia, good night. So, that's the link to Alicia's new channel, just in case she can't get the old one back. And if she doesn't get the old one back, hey, she'll have a backup channel. Now, but yeah, this is there's been who is it tonight? Oh, Stringfield Ridge Farm went to a revival tonight, so their live, I guess, was a little. I had problems and I couldn't keep it up on. I'm surprised I haven't been kicked off of here, but the internet's been going lately. But I know Kaylin saw it this morning. Suspicious observers. Fortunately, there's been the last couple of plasma ejections, have been aimed away from the Earth. The previous 2 days worth were shot out ahead of us, and this other one, which was almost an X class, I'm trying to remember which direction it was aimed at, but it wasn't aimed at us. So, but we're still getting uptick in geomagnetic solar storm stuff. So,
don't you just hate when the sun farts on us?
The sun always does stuff. It's just that we haven't realized, paying much attention to it, realize like, oh, we need to build our stuff better and more resilient to the stuff, to the electromagnetic waves. And, if you think about it, and Ben really explains it really good, the whole atmosphere is one electromagnetic current. The lightning and everything, but there's a whole electromagnetic current. And it comes in from the poles and goes around ups and stuff. But there's a lot of interesting stuff. And, people are just now thinking, oh, maybe we ought to study this. And that's what Ben Davidson does over at Suspicious Observers.
Yeah, I heard that from another channel, but it was more weather related.
Well, the electromagnetic current drives the weather.
Yeah, and I mean like our electrical. Keep in mind he's in the States, so I'm sure this is in a lot of other parts of the world too. Okay,
mm-hmm.
The electrical grid, the internet, banking, the whole 9 yards of it all. Whatever infrastructure that we have needs to be upgraded. He said he was talking about the electrical grid. Like in Texas there when they had that ice storm, right?
Yeah, it wasn't built for freezing.
We've had ice storms up. Exactly, right? Like up here in Canada where I live, it's normal to have ice storms, right? And to have 3 day power and for a week, because trees fall on the lines, right? Like granted, but still, even at that, when it had the electrical grid hasn't been upgraded in 20 or 30 years, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta do that kind of thing, because of the weather, right? Whether it's the magnetic poles or whatever, right? It's still gotta be. We're seeing weather that and I'm sure you can testify to this, like the winters in Idaho, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how old you are, Gil, but like 40 years ago, the winters were probably, I don't want to say worse, but there's a lot more snow. The winters were a little longer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's actually about 30. It's a 30-year cycle that they're discovering with weather patterns. CB, Ben Davidson, Suspicious Observers. They've actually they've got a lot of other scientific teams working there, and they've proven that the geomagnetic storms affect migraines. So yeah, it's been proven. Yeah, so that, and let's see. So we got Krubby the Beagle's in the house, prepping to endure is here now, and the Jewish redneck prepper, Shalom, my friend. And there's Carol. Yay! Carol's in the house. So we got another about 18 minutes here, and then I'm going to cut it off, and then we can all get coffee or hot chocolate or whatever you want to get, and we're going to meet over at Courtney at White Family Farm. She's going to be doing tonight, and that'll be at 11:30 Eastern. So, and Lori's in the house. Prairie Rider is here. And so, so all the channel members that are in here, Lori, Kaylin, Idaho Garden Girl, Janet, check out the new emojis I added. You have new channel members have more emojis now. I added 3 yesterday. I added some heading towards for Halloween. So I got there's some other ones in there. So actually, give me a second here. I will throw it up, use my other channel here, and I'll throw some up here. Where is it here? Because I got it in there. And yeah, so some of the new emojis is there we go. There we go. So there are the 4 new emojis. Should be showing up there now. And yeah, I do remember back 30 years ago. Yeah, 30 years ago in California, there was some heavy freezes. And I also remember back in because basically the water line froze to my parents' house, which they had owned since 1960. And that water line never froze. And it froze so bad it broke in several places. And my brother brought over an excavator from work and blew the line in, dug it, put the line in 2 feet deeper, dug out right out to the street, almost to the street, because that's where the water line was, outside the street. So he was able to dig down to the water line. And evidently the house water line went like this and then dove down to the water main. So he dug down the water main and laid it from the water main 2 feet deeper than what it was previously.
Yeah, smart.
Okay, hang on a second here. I got a question here. Idaho Garden Girl can't read what that one says, so give me 1 second here, and I'm going to show you what that one says here. Members only, images. Where is it? I make it big over here. And so, how am I going to? I got to figure out how I'm going to do this. Okay, I know how I'm going to do it. 1 second here. Take that down. I'm playing games here to get this to work right here. There we go. And enter. And I'm going to do, come on, there we go. I got to set it up here right so it'll work right. And then I got to go share screen. And I got to get the lock here on it. Share. And there that goes that way. And I put that there. And I put that up. There we go. Okay. There we go. So that's what that one says. It's welcome to Camp Crystal Lake. So that's what that one says there. And let me go over here and just so everyone can see it. That's one of the emojis. And Come on. Back here. What was the other one? Okay, so the other one I put up was the new emoji is the witch, and for Halloween, and the tent, and the camping tent, and the. Here we go. This here's the one of the other emojis here. So those are the witch, the camping tent, the crystal lake, and a cup of hot chocolate with marshmallows is the are the new emojis for the. All right. So, and part of even though I'm the theme of my membership is camp, patent, campers, and stuff like that for all the emojis and stuff. Hey, I love Halloween has been my number one holiday since I was 11 years old, and we started making our own haunted house and running it. So get that back down and get.
Yeah, our water lines up here in Canada are minimum 4 feet down because that's how far the frost goes down into the ground here in Canada. But I remember 1 year, with the last 10 years, we had little snow on the ground. We had like a lot of minus 25, minus 30, minus 40 weather. And the farmer I was renting off of said that year, that spring, he thinks that the frost line went down 6 feet. And I'm like, how do you tell, right? I was just curious. And he says, I would be in the fields right now doing my thing, but you see those darker spots in the field, right? Like, you could see them as plain as day because it was like it rained in maybe a 2-acre area out of a 10-acre area, kind of say, right? And he said that's where the frost is still coming up out of the ground because that area is damp. And I'm going, oh, okay, and I just never clued into something like that, right?
Yeah. Well, Carol's pointing something out here and some others there. I've talked about it, So they had snow in Florida in the 70s. All right. Historically speaking, though, if you look back during the Revolutionary War, not the year that George Washington was in Valley Forge, but that was a daggone cold winter. The summer after that, there was no summer. They had snow in the summer in the New England states. That's called the year without a summer. If you go back even farther, the temperature's even colder as you go back until you get back to about. I'm trying to remember when it started. Well, hang on. I'll do a Google search and I'll tell you when it started. It's called the Big Chill, the Little Ice Age. The Big Ice Age. Okay, and it started. It ran. It's a documented. A documented ice age that ran from 1375-ish into the early 1800s. All right, that was the ice age. We're still recovering from that ice age. Prior to the ice age, in the early 1300s, England, foggy, cold England was producing better wine than France because it was warmer there. England has not warmed up to the early 1345 temperatures. They haven't warmed up to that yet. So you got to look at it. Okay, our global warming is not man-made. We're still We are in a recovery stage still from the early 1300s, back to what it was in the early 1300s. Before before the big chill came in there and froze all a bunch of stuff. Now, one of the things to consider on that too is yes, we're getting warmer and some areas are getting more drought and stuff because the earth is still coming into balance. Hey, Barry, how's it going? Coming into balance to get the moisture patterns and the weather patterns the way they were back then. But then the earth is throwing another kicker at us. And that has, and Kaylin can, and the others said, "I'll watch it." And Idaho Garden Girl watches them too. Watch Ben Davis talking about how the poles are moving and speeding up, and the decline of our magnetosphere is dropping in strength severely over. I mean, it's going like this, slow. All of a sudden, it's going. So that's causing problems too. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna touch that, Carol, but you're probably right. Yeah, Kayla, and the connection point is supposed to be somewhere in the Indian Ocean. So Prairie Rider also follows suspicious observers. So if someone want to throw suspicious observers link in there before we wrap this up, I'm quite fine with that. And it's when you go, if you're on YouTube and you're typing in the bar across top of YouTube to find this channel, it's suspicious, the number 0, and then the number 0 for the O, observers. So that's okay. That because that was vague enough, Carol, that it that I think it was by there. Kaylin put in the name of it, suspicious observers, and you can Google it in there, or not Google. Go to YouTube and just type it in there, and boom, it'll take you to it. Oh, all right, that's fine, Carol. I wasn't going to say remove it. I just said I wasn't going to repeat it in case it picked up on my vocalization. So, I got to put this comment up here. I'm sorry, that just tickled my that just tickled my funny bone there. And because of her sparkle socks, she's massively censored. All right. No suspicion. No lying suspicion. Yeah, suspicious observers. Yeah. So, actually, I'm not sure if I can do that really quick over here. Let me do this here. See if he popped something else up here real quick. Give me a second here. And see if it'll come up fast. SU.
Yeah, so I got a video uploading with Zeus in it. I got him a massive bone today. Dog's been going at it for like an hour.
Oh, okay. Fish has got it. Yeah, I just noticed it as I hit the button. So yeah, there's the links for Ben Davidson's Suspicious Observers. And I tell you, I almost bought his textbook for college and the companion, but I'm spending money on other stuff around here right now. Next summer, we'll go ahead and buy it. I'll have things taken care of by then. Yeah, Carol, not a problem. I understand. Your family life comes first. Oh,
you're a Canadian.
Oh man, I don't know what happened. You used to be a moderator, Lori. You are now a moderator again. Dang. And dang, there we go. So,
Hey, Gil,
yeah.
you know you're a Canadian when?
Moslin! Yeah.
You know you're Canadian when you drink Canadian beer, you drink Tim Hortons.
Well, I don't know what you'd call me then because I don't drink alcohol. Not since my senior ditch day in high school. And when I drank there, I didn't like the taste of it, and it did nothing for me. You know, the Budweiser nor the Everclear. Yeah. I'm like, it tastes nasty. Why are you guys drinking this crap?
Yeah, no, I used to drink like a fish, but now it's like a buddy of mine, the previous owner of this house I own, him and his brother are being passed down a crane company from his father. And the father broke the cab to the crane because it's like a big truck with a crane on it. And he nailed it with a tree coming out of a spot. So they called me up and says, we need your help fixing this. And so I've been working there this week, and it's not that it's been hot, but when I work, I usually get the jobs where I can at least have a couple of beers at work.
I got to say, all right. Hi, Brother Donnie. How's it going? And no, you spelled that wrong. I am Southern Californian is where I was born. And now it's Southern California.
California.
Hey, it started back with Governor Moonbeam. His dad. All right, so we've had Jerry Brown and his dad Edmund Brown, who really started screwing the state up before he did. That's when the state started its slippery slope, and then Governor Moonbeam got in there and really started pushing it down the slope as hard as he could. And then he found the loophole in the California Constitution that says basically a governor can only be a governor for 2 consecutive terms. They need to take that consecutive out of there, because otherwise then he would never have been in there and things would not have gotten as bad in California as they did.
Oh.
No, Carol, it comes from my dad. My dad, the entire time he was married to my mom, his weight was 150 pounds, except for a 4-year period when he was taking the cow's milk to lunch. At that time, he got to 165 because the cow's milk, the fresh cow's milk he was taking to work. He was taking a quart of milk to work every day, and most of that was, I would say, that was the cream off of our stuff. So it was really super thick, extra heavy cream that you can't even buy in the stores. Hey, Chipper, how's it going? And so that was the only time my dad put on weight. And as soon as he stopped taking the cream to work, boom, he lost the weight again. Up until the time, about 3 years after I got married, I weighed 150 pounds myself. And from my sophomore year till I was 33, 34, I weighed 150 pounds. And our metabolism was, I mean, when I was working in construction, all the guys that worked there were pissed at me because I'd bring a couple big sandwiches to work, some of the job sites, walk across the street to a 7-Eleven or a Quickie Mart and come back with an armful of cupcakes and Twinkies and just eat that the rest of the day. And they were mad because I never gained a pound until my metabolism changed. Then I got screwed. Yeah. The thing with alcohols and stuff, the only alcohol that enters my body now just because, and it's because it's in medicine, in the cough syrup. And my wife is talking about making some tinctures for medical purposes. We'll see what happens on that. Because, hey, I can get all the vodka I want up here in Idaho. Potato vodka. All righty, it's after 11 o'clock now Eastern time. We got a half an hour before Courtney goes live. Give me a second here, and I want to throw that in the chat in there. The link for Courtney's live tonight. Where is it here? There it is. I think. No, that's mine. Where's the Courtney's? Oh, now it's not coming up. I'm trying to find Courtney's live there. Usually it pops up when I just go there. Maybe I better do it over here. I can throw it up here. Dang. I don't see. It's being a pain in the butt. YouTube doesn't want to share it out because they know it's going to be wild not tonight over there on Courtney's. All right. Let me do it this way here. Wide fan. See if I can get it a different way here. And it's not giving me the pre-thing. Oh, wait a minute. I know where I can get it. I know where to find it. Courtney put the link in her thing here, I believe. Let's see here. For that. And no, it's not on that word. She put it. Courtney's got too many group chats. Mod. I think it's in the mod group. But that way we can all head over there if I can find. Man, everybody talks so much in her mod group. It's hard to keep up with everything. There we go. Nope, she just posted the picture. She didn't post the link. Oh, well. So go over, get ready to find it coming out here in a little bit. Wide Family Farm. I'm not sure why it's not up there yet. But it should be coming up soon here. So Wide Family Farm in 25 minutes. And hopefully see everybody over there. Thank you, Liz, for coming up here. And
no problem, man. For letting me up here.
All righty.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah. Hope to see you guys all over there. All right. Night, guys.